So I just finished meal prepping. Well, not even meal prep, really just making food for the day. And I just had this thought on my mind, and I guess it's probably the question I'm really always trying to answer. And that is, do single parents have to give up their dreams? As someone who's had his dream career, then become a single dad, I definitely think that that's where I am right now. Like, can I maintain it? Because it's tough. Like, can it be done? Maybe. Is it going to be easy? No. To be honest, I think it might be easier for me if I didn't have my dream job before I became a single dad, because then I would build up all the necessary skills. I would build my life. I would build everything in a way that is conducive to actually reaching and maintaining that. But I do think it's possible. Creating content is something I put a lot of time and effort into, but I definitely wouldn't say it's my dream. But I do know that it is a lot of people's. Especially as a single parent, creating content gives you the opportunity, most importantly, to be present for your kids, because that's my challenge right now. It's like my work takes me away from home, and ideally I would want to be home more. So, you know, I'm possibly transitioning out of my career. Hopefully not, but possibly, because of the stability, but most importantly, because I'd be able to be more present. I work long hours. My schedule is wildly unpredictable. It makes it very difficult to plan things in advance, camps, vacations, just whatever is coming up. And without a real support system, it is very difficult to maintain. So that's why, the possibility of either really making content work for me or pursuing a different career that gives me a little bit more flexibility becomes a viable option. That's just my experience. I do think that, kind of depending on what your dreams are, you can definitely make it work. If I had a more traditional dream, like if I wanted to be a lawyer or something that just requires school and training and just a traditional 9 to 5 type of life, that's definitely doable. It's never going to be easy. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're asking if you can pursue your dreams as a parent and it be easy. No, it's not going to be. But the reason why I said it might be easier if I chose to pursue my dreams after becoming a single dad is because what I think happens, and what becomes even more obvious as you raise your kid, is that they are 100% a reflection of you, like at least early on. The more I create, the more I pursue, the more I realize, like, I have to be that. Like, I can't pretend he's looking at me. He's like, you keep telling me to do stuff, but you're not doing it. You keep telling me to read, but you're not reading. You keep telling me to work hard, but I don't really see you working hard. Your kids are a reflection of you. And while I said it'd be easier if I became a single dad first and then started pursuing my dream, my child is the reason that my dream exists. There was a point right when I found out my ex-wife was pregnant where I said to myself, at some point, this child is going to ask me about pursuing his dreams. And it would not feel right for me to tell him that he's capable of doing so if I don't truly do it myself. And for me, that's why I feel comfortable walking away now. Like, if I absolutely had to, if there was no other way, if work just became untenable completely, I would be okay walking away because I did it. I've worked at the highest level of my field. I've accomplished more than I imagined, and I'm good with that. And my son can see that, and there's proof, and it's documented. And now that's no longer the most important thing. Now stability is the most important thing. But for others who haven't quite done that yet, you're asking if it's still possible. Now, with that said, maybe the role or the capacity which you do your dream might be a little bit different. Maybe your dream was to do some job that requires you to be on the road, or some job that's extremely dangerous that now you don't feel comfortable doing because you have another person that you're responsible for. And that makes sense. My dream job is in entertainment. And the way that I do my job today might not be the way that I'll do it in the future. But there's a pretty good chance that I can still end up doing work in that same industry, even if it's in a different capacity. And I think that you just really have to put your feet on the ground and take one step at a time and figure out what options are truly out there, because you really don't know. I remember being in college and someone telling me that they were in school for actuarial sciences, and I had no idea what that field was. Like, the fact that I was sitting there at this major university and they have, I don't know, hundreds of programs that I've never even heard of is like, oh, there's like a really big world out there, but maybe you don't know that it exists because you just haven't been exposed. So yeah, you can absolutely still achieve your dreams. It just might look a little bit different. And with that said, I think as parents, we still really all want our children to try to excel at whatever it is they want to do and to kind of reach for the stars. So I think it is important for us to still do that on our own. At the end of the day, I always remind myself that my kid's going to get older. He's not going to be here forever. And at some point, the house is going to be quiet and it's just going to be me with my thoughts and reflections. And I'm going to have some more years left of work. And it's going to be like, well, what are you going to do now? The more obstacles you face and overcome, the more confident you are, because you realize that you are incredibly capable. And you need that, especially as a single parent, when you are often going to be faced with different types of adversity, and it's just going to be on you. Your kid watching you hit milestone after milestone is probably going to be incredibly empowering for them, because they're going to see that anything is possible. I don't know if I believe in being realistic, because I just think the best things truly come from dreaming a little bit bigger than that. So dream big, come up with a plan, and put it into action. Recently, I was feeling melancholy, and I just reminded myself that challenging myself is the thing. When I just manufacture adversity in order to pursue something, that gets me unstuck every time. That, once you have kids, a lot of people are going to tell you that you have to be realistic. And my only response to that is that what you're going to tell your kids? Because I don't want to be the do as I say, not as I do guy. The kids are watching. They see it. They look at your actions. They hear your words. And if they don't match, good luck getting them to listen. I think the only way to truly get out of your kids what you want is to be an example of it, even if it's hard. I don't think you can play small and then ask your kid to go big, because it'll never make sense coming from you if they've never seen you actually do it. Dreams are just that. They're not easily obtainable. They're not something that everyone can get to. They're something to strive for. And, one of the coolest thing about them is that there's no time limit. So just because you pursue something and you don't quite reach it tomorrow, it doesn't mean you'll never get there. It just means you're not there yet. And kids have a lot more life left to live than you do. So they've got plenty of time. You're a parent, so obviously your risks have to be calculated. You got to definitely put yourself in the best situation possible to win. If it's school, if it's getting a job in the field, and then later starting your business after you've learned a little bit more, like whatever you have to do, you start taking those steps to get there. And maybe it takes a little bit longer than it would have taken if you didn't have kids, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. It's a dream. It's a thing that you're always pursuing, even when it doesn't look like it. And if you want your child to try to pursue their own, it'll definitely help if they've seen you do it first.